Welcome once again to the Damon Floyd Coach Show here on Talk 101.3, where all our coach shows brought to you by L&B Appliances out there on Durkee Road. See Josh Taylor and his guys out there, and they'll take care of you when it comes to your appliance needs. Being joined now, of course, by Coach Damon Floyd, and we decided to take the show outside this week since it's so beautiful. School is out. We got fall break going on and all that. You guys just finished practice here, so what better place to do it than out here with a football field in the background there, Coach. Congratulations on the win last week, 40-7 over East Hamilton, not East Hamilton, but over Hardin Valley, who is a region foe. Had them here at home on homecoming, special night there. 47 win. Mercy Rule was hit there in the second half there. So a dominating win in some ways, but I was talking to you after the show, after the game was over on a post-game show. You're never satisfied completely because there's things, and we had some breakdowns the other night, obviously, during the game with a couple of defensive breakdowns. We had a couple of turnovers, had a couple of picks, though. And all in all, your takeaways from that game Friday night?
Well, I am usually on the negative side of our critiquing our team, but after looking at film, I was really pleased.
There you go.
I thought defensively, we held them to 90 yards total for the game. Yeah. They had 33 rushes, I think, for 61 yards, so less than 2 yards a rush. We did give up a touchdown right after a turnover on special teams, so not happy about that. Obviously, there's always things you can improve. To be quite honest, I thought during the game, I didn't think Caleb was playing very well. After the game, watching film, I thought he had one out of how many plays we ran, I'm not sure, but around 50, I thought he had one bad decision, the interception.
Right.
But he really tried to squeeze it in a window that he thinks he can make that throw. And, as a quarterback, you don't want to ever say you can't. So
right.
I understand after watching film of what he thought. And then he had four touchdowns passing
and one running
and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, he played pretty good, except for one bad decision. So after watching film, honestly, I was pretty pleased.
Well, Caleb, 25 of 33 passing, and Tyler Cook came in and hooked up with Tyrese Stovall on a great catch by Tyrese, his first time to score for the Bears there. Caleb had 255, I think, yards passing. Like I say, the 4 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing. Boo Carter, first 3 touchdowns were passes from him to Boo.
Yeah.
And Boo just keeps doing Boo things. Boo had pretty easy touchdowns except for the one where he started on the left side of the field, came all the way to the right side, avoiding all kind of tackles and just doing what he does. But going back to your defense, our defense has been there all year long. They have really played well for almost every game. And you give up 90 yards or hold a team to 90 yards in 6A football, that is pretty stout there.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying is after going back and watching film and looking at the stats, like, okay, we played pretty well. Obviously, like I mentioned before, there's always things you got to clean up. You want to be a little bit more consistent. We did miss a couple of reads. I don't want to make an excuse, but, when they're holding the ball or staying in the huddle for 40 seconds,
yep.
If you get a first down, that's pretty much 4 minutes off the clock. It is hard. I mean, if we're being real, it's hard to – even on the sidelines, like, oh, my gosh, snap the ball.
Yeah.
So,
It's hard to fill in between plays for me on the radio because, there's only so much you can say there. Talk about something else that's really impressed me. We had 2 drives. One was 15 plays and one was 16 plays. I don't think we've had a drive anywhere near that all season long. We had 2 Friday night, which were impressive to me.
Yeah, and I think after watching film, that was the good thing is, everybody plays us a little bit different, and you kind of got to figure out what they're doing, but obviously they did not want to give up the big plays,
right.
So which made us had to drive. Now, you talked about Boo earlier saying easy touchdowns. He makes it look easy.
Well, yeah.
There ain't nobody else on the field doing what he does.
No, that's true.
But, yeah, I was proud. Overall, I was proud of our team. And, anytime you get a region win, it's a big win. And, look, let's be honest about this. We were a lot more talented than Hardin Valley, so
right.
That's probably what should have happened. I would have liked to put them away earlier, but, we only had 4 possessions in the first half. We scored 3.
Yeah.
The fourth possession, we didn't execute like we should have. But all in all, good game. Obviously, it's going to get a little tougher coming up. But region win, so, I felt like our guys did what they had to do.
I want to talk about somebody we've not talked about all year who's not on our team, not a coach for us, but Sterling Collins.
Oh, man.
That guy, talk about what he means to our football program.
Well, I think if you look around the state, every successful high school football team, there's reasons. I can't take credit when guys are getting here and they're already really good players. They love football. They're physical. They're strong. For example, Zane McIntosh. As a freshman, he's probably our strongest kid on our team. So we get to reap the benefit of that. And if you look at every successful football program, I would say it starts in youth league.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree,
and
yeah.
The amount of interest that he has of kids wanting to play there, and the reason they're interested in playing for Bradley Youth is because of what he does. So not only Sterling, but his wife Kendra, and then all the youth league coaches that we do have, they do a great job of teaching fundamentals, but they let the kids have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they take a lot of pride in, playing for Bradley Youth, which in turn makes them want to play for Bradley High. And, you look at Marcus and Mason Gorey, Jay Allen Terry, those guys all, I'm missing some, but they all played in the youth league, and, they take a lot of pride in it. So, yeah, Sterling, we're reaping the benefit of the hard work that Sterling Collins puts in. So definitely huge for our program.
Well, we're glad to have Sterling on our side and working for us. Let's take a quick break here on behalf of L&B Appliance. We'll come back and talk about our upcoming game on the road, a non-region game with Red Bank, when we return. Welcome back to our Coach Show with Coach Damon Floyd here, brought to you by L&B Appliance out there on Durkee Road. We get to now to look at Red Bank, which is a non-region game. We've not played Red Bank since 2004. Coach, you started high school at Red Bank. Does that bring back memories of being down there? I guess freshman, sophomore years.
Well, it's been so long ago. I don't know.
28 years ago.
Yeah, I can't really remember. That's where I grew up, and went to Red Bank games all the way. When I was in elementary school and middle school, and obviously had a lot of good times there and a lot of good friends still. But at some point I had to do what was best for me, and it's come to Bradley and become a Bear. And so I'm happy with that move that I did make. To come up here, but this game's not about me.
I know.
It's about our kids and their kids, so it'll be neat going back there and coaching.
Well, we've not played them, like I said, in almost 20 years, and we played them more than anybody we've ever played except McMinn County. It'll be the 61st time this week we've played them, and so it's going to renew an old series that we played forevermore there. Bill Price, I believe, was the one that brought it back here when he was here in the late 90s here at Bradley as our head coach. And he played at Red Bank too,
Yes.
and he was a quarterback there, and he beat us some there when he was playing quarterback at Red Bank. So it'll bring back some memories there. Looking at Red Bank, they were state semifinalists last year. They've lost some players like everybody has,
Yeah.
but what do you expect them to try to do? I talked to some guys who had seen them play this year, said they're going to try to throw the ball. And it's not many teams that may not happen. I don't know. You may know more about it than I do. I know you do, but there's not many teams try to throw the ball unless they want to run the ball and keep it out of our hands if we can, run the clock.
Yeah, I was frustrated a couple weeks ago saying that we have this type of secondary and nobody wants to throw the ball, and then we go play a Farragut and they lit us up. So I'm not going to say that again. But I will say Red Bank's quarterback did get hurt against Ray County, and from what I understand, it may be in a torn ACL. I know he's not played the last couple games. I think he tore his ACL, so it totally changed their offense, and they're not throwing it as much just because the quarterback situation. So, look, I'll say this: Red Bank defensively, they're very fast. They're physical. Ted Lockerby's their defense coordinator, so they're very well coached. Offensively, they're trying to find a little bit of a new identity because of the injuries they've had. I think they maybe lost a running back too. So they've kind of struggled, if we're being honest, on the offensive side of the ball here lately since the quarterback went down. But I would say they'll be well prepared, and they've had a couple weeks to kind of work out the kinks, and we know we'll get their best effort. And for us, it's the next game. It's really not. It is about Red Bank and our scouting report, but it's about us being us, and that's the thing we got to focus on. So, and that's any game. But I'd say it'll be a tough challenge, and you know, they got a lot of pride. Like you said, they went to state semifinals last year, have had a lot of success for a number of years, but they did lose a lot of players, but they still got a lot coming back too.
They've been in the playoffs 33 different times, you know, and Tom Weathers Sr. won it all in 2000. That year they played in the Blizzard over at Middle Tennessee State, and they had a great team. Gerald Riggs was there, I remember him, and of course he went to Tennessee there. Let me ask you this about this though. A couple of weeks ago we had an open week, and you don't like open weeks. I know that could mess up your routine. Does school being out for fall break mess you up just like open week does? I know we're here doing this in the morning on a beautiful day outside. You've had practice already this morning. Do you like that?
Well, it does mess up the routine, but it messes up the routine in a good way.
Okay.
We ain't got to go to school.
Okay.
And our kids are much happier practicing, knowing that, you know, we get to practice in the morning, they ain't got school after it. So
yeah.
It does mess up your routine, but it's different than the open week. You know, we got out here in the cool weather this morning, and everybody was, believe it or not, at 8 o'clock in the morning, ready to go and jumping around. And so I enjoy fall break. A lot of coaches, you know, they want to have their open week, not play a game that Friday night. I love it because all you got to do is focus on football.
Right.
So for us, I actually enjoy this week.
Well, I hate to bring this up. J. Allen Terry, how bad was he hurt Friday night?
Yeah, it's just one of those nagging injuries, and to be honest with you, it's still from McMinn County. And if you've noticed in every game we've played, there's been times, you know, when he's coming off the field after he carries the ball, he gets tackled a certain way. It just it's nagging, and unfortunately that's the way it's going to be all year. To be quite honest, you know, he practiced a little bit today, but not sure he's going to be ready Friday. You got Simon Mullis and Landon Scott that'll be carrying the ball this week because Jackson's out as well. So we got 2 running backs out. So it's time for those other 2 guys to step up.
Well, you're playing on grass again this week.
Yep.
It'll be only the second time all year since the McMinn County game. Do you wear any different kind of shoes or anything on grass, or?
Not shoes, uniforms, because we try to keep our white ones. We got to wear white jerseys, but I told them I'll let the kids pick what uniform they wear every week. But I said, can't wear white pants. So,
okay.
But it also does affect our kickers.
I see.
So Skylar and those other guys, they went up and kicked on our practice field today instead of kicking on turf. So they got to get some practice there. So there's some differences, but look, all in all, you got to block and tackle and execute, and it doesn't matter really what you're playing on.
Well, that's going to be a fun game down there. Non-region game, but boy, need a good crowd again. You know, with fall break being on, you never know what the attendance is going to be like. There's a lot of people out of town for everybody. And Hamilton County's out of school this week. Knox County was out. That's why we moved the game last week to Thursday night. But it's going to be a fun time. Non-region game, but just keep on rolling. Still ranked number 1.
Well, like I said, those rankings really don't matter until the end. So we don't really talk about it. Other than when they first came out, to tell them that it really doesn't matter. But, you know, at this point, we got a lot more things to fix than obviously a ranking. So we're just going to keep working.
Well, Coach, I'd like to thank you as always each week for providing our look at the enemy coming up here Friday night. It will be a Friday night games week. And it confirmed, it is 7:30 kickoff, right?
No. It has now changed. I'm sorry. It is 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock kickoff.
Well, I'm glad I asked because we're about to go down there for a 7:30 kickoff. Then.
Coach Gatewood texted me this weekend, so that's how I found out. But
okay.
We like the 7 o'clock kickoff.
Yes, we do for a lot of reasons there, especially when you're out of town.
Yes.
Well, that'll wrap it up from here. I'd like to thank once again LB Appliance for the continued support of Bradley Center football. Until next time, we'll say so long for now. God bless and go Bears.